3, 2, 1, and boom. So we start with mashing, alternating A and Z. For US, you go start and right. And the way the menu controls is a little goofy, so honestly I would just say play around with it to get used to it. For now, there's a lot of running down and out of the monastery we start in. Nothing terribly interesting. We'll go over some of the basics. You train HP by taking damage or meleeing. You train MP by having a spell successfully hit or activate, like heal or escape or whatever. You train defense by getting hit. Train agility by moving. So there's a big thing called the agility glitch we'll take advantage of, and I'll explain that when we get to it. We come over here and get bread. We need bread. We want 4 breads before solvering, and there's 4 of them. We'll get 3 of them in here, and we'll get the 4th one actually in his fight. You can actually walk around the edge of his arena to those 2 chests that are out there, but we're only going to walk where the bread is, not the mint leaves. Bread is off to the left, the mint leaves are off to the right. So for now, we're going to put every element into water. We want to get to 77 experience prior to solving, so we'll keep track up to that. After solving, it doesn't matter anymore. So we'll get to 77. We want to get to about 31 experience prior to going. We preferably get to 31 experience prior to going into kind of forest. If you can't, you can't. It doesn't happen much. It sucks, but tolerable. This route, you'll want to get to 59 HP without melee, because that gives you the right amount of defense to survive just enough times using 3 to 4 bread. If you're super lucky, you'll use less. 3 is awesome. Anything less than that is... Right, so pick up... I may have forgotten to take one of my ibuprofens. I put it on the table and forgot to take it. Whoops. Alright. So, I was saying, so putting everything in the water for now. If I did take the ibuprofens, it's only 3, I'll be fine. This is another fresh bread. Yeah. Go over, grab the spirit, and use the wings. Weird camera angle. Happen often. So really, we're only going to want to kill the dogs. They die the fastest, they give 3 experience. Oops. Practice for using that like that. We're always going to try to take hits within reason. Something you want to learn is sliding. You press A a little bit before you hit the edge where you would stop, and you can actually go further. So sliding is a useful tool. There's certain fights you want to do it, mainly Zels, to be honest. After that, it's a matter of getting out of fights faster or whatever. So you can hit both of them, but I did not set it up right, so we're going to kill both of them. It's going to give us 6 experience, hopefully drop it. Okay, build experience. So the spirit off to the left that we're going to get, if I was doing the newest route, Princess Peach, if only. If we were doing the newest route, this is the spirit that we would go and clone, that did the death dude for. He's just... You can also hit both these. I accidentally meleeed. Bad. So this is 12. At 8, you get the first level 8, 1831, I think. 9, 1831. That. Doesn't matter. I think it's 8. Or it's 18. Pretty much only gonna kill dogs. So we would do the death dupe on that spirit over there because it's the best spot. So biggest, and it's the first actually Overworld spirit where you can get into encounters. So that spot. feel good. Bonk my heal. Okay, let's see. Faster than these guys. No. Hopefully you don't get frozen. Those guys are camera does stuff. You hold B, it'll kind of make the camera follow you. It's not like Z locking in Ocarina of Time. It slowly goes behind you. It's kind of annoying. Those guys are slower than all hell. Won't ever fight them. We'll kill this guy because it's probably about the same speed as going out of the encounter. And also we're taking the extra damage, which isn't a big deal. Now we don't want to be too low. It's 15. Dang. We don't want to be too low because we would like to get into 4 dog fights, and those ones get a bit sketchy. Or can get sketchy, especially if... So you can pick up a lot of spirits to heal a little bit, just to be safe right now. You can pick up a lot of spirits from weird angles, like if there's a wall between you and the spirit. Sometimes the area where you can pick up the spirit is actually extended over the wall, for whatever reason. But a lot of times, you'll notice I pick up spirits like that over a wall. It's kind of weird, but useful. 15. So, more experience within reason is better, but once you get to 31, you really don't want to fight. You don't want to fight too much prior, because there's much better encounters that you can have. Just having 31 experience prior to going into the forest sets you at a nice spot. Probably won't get a dog encounter. Pretty bad luck with that, personally. Also, we're not going to be anywhere close to these splits. Especially because that is with the new glitch. Alright, so we didn't get a dewdrop. But we're actually going to drop in here. This lady, who gives you a dewdrop if you don't have one. Also, if we didn't have any fresh bread, if you talk to the guy behind the bar, he would give you fresh bread. Let's pick up these wings, because I'm going to grab that spirit down there. Oh, something to note, when you chain heal, at the end of chaining your heals, you want to press A or Z, and you'll do a little head nod animation from Brian, like, oh, there's nothing there. So, talking that. So it's actually faster to use that animation to cancel out of the heal chain than letting the animation cancel. You get control just a little bit earlier. And the amount of times you end up heal chaining throughout the run, it saves a bit of time for free. Hopefully we'll get this fight. We're at 15. That's a nice fight. Yeah. Sometimes they'll miss, but... 27. That'll happen often. He didn't run forward like they usually do. Let's see if I can get the... Alright, so you can animate victory cancel as well, but it kills the audio. Recording it, Twitch is recording it, I'll highlight it. So we'll be fine. I'm just gonna heal up the full. I like to heal up the full before here because if you're getting into a good defense encounter, which is one of 2 fights, one of a couple fights actually, you want to take it as soon as you get it. The sooner you have higher defense, the better. So those 2 guys on the right are the ones you want to see. That guy on the left, kobolds, you never want to see them. They're annoying. They hit really hard. We want to see a... We're gonna take this fight. They have 24 HP, but this will give 20 experience. And also lag. Experience, I was at 17. They also hit really hard once they get close. For instance, these. Do this game. Alright, 17, 46. Saleen's Bell is actually a really nice drop. I was at 27. That puts me at 47. I'm actually 1 off the next level. 48 is the next level. So I'm just gonna be safe. with like a solitary bat, but not the guy on the right, not the kobold. I want the Marionasty, because he'll do it, this attack. So each time you get hit, it's an individual training of your defense. So obviously an enemy that hits more often, you train your defense faster. The first spot is like 56, 54, 56 is where they'll start to do less damage. Unfortunately, you have to leave the encounter again for it to take effect. So you can pick up the spirit from really far away. So the reason we want to get to 77 experience is because that gives us the right amount to get to 19. With all the spirits we pick up, it gets us to 19, which gives us exit, which lets us do the cloning glitch. We're not going to pick up that one spirit for we're going to clone it instead. I'm getting terrible luck for training, but it happens. Like, it's not a big deal until you're going for a world record, pretty much. Again, kobolds died. Terrible enemy that hits really, really hard. You want these guys that don't hit really hard, that hit a lot. Still kind of hits hard, but once you get to 54, the Frog Knights are actually weaker than the Marionasties in terms of that attack. So once you get to 56, I think, the Frog Knights hit for 1. The occasional 2, and Marionasties hit for... I think they still hit for 3. I think they hit for like 2s and... I don't remember where the cutoff is for Marionasties. I know that the Frog Knights is much sooner from when they'll hit for less damage. It might even be 50. Remember exactly. I'm at 47 experience. I'm not getting good encounters. You really don't want to fight these, especially because I haven't got any defense training. They really only do it if you absolutely have to. And if you've gotten defense training at like 59 up until this point, you can take that fight, but generally you'll ignore it. This is pretty much the tutorial. So this is 16. Each of these bats are worth 4. Was it 47, 57, 63? Pretty good spot. Experience. Not great, but whatever. If you notice, I'm running and taking all the hits. Relatively. Try to go for the glitch. Audio glitch. Animation cancel is. See if we can get... Oh, well, we're gonna have enough experience now. 63, we don't need any more experience. The upside for this is that once we get the defense training encounter, we can actually spend more time in it because our heals are much stronger already. You definitely want an early training encounter because it makes everything that you fight later safer. So I was at 63, that puts me at 83, so I have more than enough experience. I don't need to kill anything else. I'm not gonna fight this stuff, I'm just gonna keep going until I get a defense encounter, then we'll do a defense encounter. Might have to do 2 defense encounters. Although we could just do 1 and use a dewdrop. I'm getting terrible luck for defense. At this point, it's you can't get into the Marionasty fight. It'd be a Frog Knight or double Frog Knight. So, can I please? There we go. Frog Knight. Alright, so we're gonna overtrain. We're gonna go to like 63. So the way I move is I run kinda at them and then loop to the left and around. There's other ways to do it. You can walk straight backwards very slowly. I'm not super familiar with. We'll try it now. Not a big fan, personally. And normally, if I'm not healing, I like to slide, because the way agility training works is encounters believe is from where you started to where you end your turn. So if you're going a little bit further, it's just a little bit more training. At least I think it may or may not. I think in the scheme of things, it actually does. So this is, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Take a lot of hits. So at this point, if we were to leave an encounter and get to another frog encounter, they would actually only hit for one, I believe. 56 is the over for the amount of defense for their attacks to weaken. I'm gonna get low. They could do a max of 9 damage. They probably won't. But they can. You can ignore my splits. That is from a run where I got the death tube. Okay, so if you notice, well, he's gonna walk up. They have these guys have a close range attack, and you never want to be that close. Him. He should be hitting for ones. Oh no, he still does twos. I guess it's 59 they cut off. I don't know. It's been a while. Either way, we're much safer. And mind you, this isn't terribly accurate because I got atrocious encounter luck for defense. I didn't get anything until we ran around at the end. Normally, you'd like to get one or two pretty early. If you get two really early and it allows you to train like most of the way up, you actually don't want to go all the way to 59. If you're feeling, or if you don't feel safe, yeah, go to 59. But if you feel gutsy, go to like 58 or so, and everything, all the damage you'll take and encounters on the way, the rest of the way there, you should get to 59. I would generally say go to 59 just for safety's sake. It's better to be overtrained than undertrained, in my opinion. That's just me, especially with Solvering in this route. It's definitely the first, the gatekeeper. Early on. We're gonna just go to 63. That should make safer. I say that. Actually, I think if I kill these guys, they're 8 apiece. 16. I think they'll get me to the next level. Oops. These guys have 60 or HP. I think. Alright, that'll also make him over a bit safer. So you won't only do that if you end up getting like a bunch of bat fights. You know, just be like, oh, I went over 77. I might as well take this next bat fight and get to the next level, which is like, what is 60? Oh, here we go. I'm from 63 to 83. That was 18. I think it's 98. Maybe doing one day. It's been so long since I've done the training like this. I don't remember. I don't pay super close attention to the damage they do. I'm looking at my health. Specifically what they're doing for damage. Unfortunately, I miss dodging stuff. Much as nice as it is for Brian to do that, now is not the time. So the reason we're going to 63 and not like 61 or 62 is because if we get to 63 without doing any melee, that's the next spot where your defense will actually increase. Because your defense does not increase as quickly. Unfortunately. If it did, this run would be much easier. We're gonna get to 63 and we're gonna go a little bit over just to make sure I did get the defense. But sometimes It's not exact, but it's pretty close. $63 with 17 should almost guarantee that we make it. I'm not healing just because I want to... Healing takes time. Me too. You're not going to kill me. That should be it. Oh, got a 17. That's unusual to get that much MP before this, so I'm gonna have way more MP than you normally would, probably. Just because I'm spending more time doing stuff. So, when I said about we can go around Silvering and get bread, do just that. Walk around the edge. You can go pick up this bread without fighting. You can do the same thing to Mintley as we don't need them. We'll pick them up after we fight them. Alright, so... Normally you would use those boots that I picked up with the, that one spirit in the hut, but we're going to save those boots for the Blue Cape Out of Bounds. So what I'm going to do right now is actually slide forward and hope he doesn't do that. That does a lot less damage. Alright, so he has 200 HP, so I keep track. 1-3, I did 1 hit of 20, and then 3 extra damage. So I'm at 2-9. Classic. Have to hammer F off. Heal here. $15. 17. $6-3. Sick. He can kill me from there, unfortunately. This is why he uses yeah, it's so hard. 8, 10. He should die. 9, 12. He has 8 HP. Yay! 5-19. Now we see the first glitch. It's the cloning glitch. So this route, really, the old version of this, really relies on things. The new route does as well, but there's one major difference. The old route, the exit or return version of the glitch, you can get a maximum of 6. With the death dupe, you can get a maximum of 96. Minor difference. So we're going to go to the spirit, which is why we didn't pick it up. We're going to cast exit. We're going to mash A and then down C because we want to put this into water. We're going to get to 25 water and we're going to go into Glencoe Forest and clone into Earth. Nice, and I got 5. You can get 6, which is pretty hard to do. 5 is fantastic, and 4 is what you would like to expect. If you can't do it well, you can do the route based on 3, it just means you have to clone more. That's all. Not a big deal. The important part is that we now have escape. Which isn't going to work ever, because that's the way it goes. We're also going to get into 1,000,000 encounters. Oh, something to mention is the initiative glitch. If you notice I cast a spell there and I actually slide a little bit, that slide is still considered movement. You can actually get into an encounter while you have that spell up and ready. If you do that and an encounter pops up, that's the initiative glitch. You can cast a spell before anything happens. If you're slower than the enemy, it'll skip their turn. If you're faster than them, it'll just act like it was your turn. I have 25, so I'm gonna put everything into Earth. There's almost always an encounter there. I missed trying to get it. So to note with the initiative glitches, 1, we use it for the death dupe, and 2, there's something, the agility glitch. So between where your two encounters are, if you get the initiative glitch, depending on how far apart, you can get no agility, or you can get a metric shit ton. Put it lightly. So we're going to be trying to do that when we do the Out of Bounds later on and get about 10 agility for free. So what I think happens for this is that the game stores where you last were in an encounter. So let's say here, if I were to slide into an encounter and cast an ability, the encounter would act like you were still in that same encounter that you previously were, and that you had moved between the two spots where you had last been. So where you were in the previous encounter and left the encounter, to where you are now, where you just cast a spell in the new encounter. So it gives you a bunch of agility, like you had moved that far. It gives you all that experience all at once, and generally it gives you levels worth. Right, I'm also always going to point the camera away from these guys. Lots of enemies lag, and guys off screen, but, you know, pretty straightforward. There are certain spots, and it's mostly East Lineland, where there's just... sometimes it's better to look at enemies. It's just, you'll have to experience it, because there's kind of weird... There's just weird corners that's like it's laggier to look at the wall, which doesn't make any sense. And escape these. I'm not doing them. I like to stay at full health. It's not super necessary, but, you know, safe isn't dead. And death is pretty bad, especially against bosses if you've used items, because you don't get those items back. Oops. Away. We're putting everything to earth. I'm going to overtrain in here. So if you can get 4s, the route to do now... You're always going to try to take hits with enemies that hit multiple times if you can. The route to do now is to clone the first one, the second one, pick up the third one, and clone the fourth one. Not clone anymore in Glencoe Forest. That's the most recent route for that, because that gives you just enough to get to a little bit over 24 by Zeus. The big thing with this run is memorization. If you can remember where everything is, it's very easy to pick up. If you have trouble with remembering stuff, you're gonna struggle a bit. Knowing what all the enemies do, all that fun stuff. This is a map. Okay, so we're gonna clone this into Earth. That was an ugly 4, but I'm going to clone the old way and get a bunch of extra, which is fine. I'm going to overclone. I want to be safer, so I'm going to waste a bit of time. Ghost Stalkers are awful. If you get multiple of them, they are going to lag the crap out of your game. They're slow. They do a slow attack. They're not terribly slow, but they do a slow attack. They're kind of hard. They're annoying. Something to note in this game, I always remember here whenever I'm talking about this game, encounters with multiple enemies is actually much safer than encounters with one enemy because of the way the turns go. It's always, if you have faster agility, you go first, but it's always enemy Brian, enemy Brian, enemy Brian. Brian is always every other turn. If there's multiple enemies, it's enemy 1, Brian, enemy 2, Brian, enemy 3, Brian. If there's one enemy, it's enemy 1, Brian, enemy 1, Brian, so they can keep up with you and hit you, like this. But this is sketchy. Thankfully, I can make it out. I don't have to worry about it. If I was worried about it, I would have healed the whole way. But... And that's a prime example of why you don't want single encounters. That exact reason. They can keep up with you. So it must be in a good spot because they're not actually lagging me right now, which is surprising. Usually 3 is laggy. So normally you just pick this one up, but we're gonna clone it. If you're first learning the route, it's probably better just to clone all but 1 in here anyway. Extra spirits is better than dead. You'll get extra agility for moving around. You'll be extra strong against the bosses. You know, good stuff. Okay. Wolverine's dead. We killed him. Alright, to note, for Zels, we want to get to 81 HP. Because that's the that's about that spot and keeps us safe from getting 2-shot by his close range. You shouldn't ever be close enough for that, but when we pick up the silent flute, it's pretty much just a safety item. No other reason. On this spirit, and we're gonna grab those last 2. Cloning is terrible. Shoulder hurts too. So cloning is pretty garbage, even though I did get a 5 and 4. So this is actually not quite neutral. Even good, because I'm 1 more than I should be. I would go into this expecting to get 4s. Thank you, Hobo. I was getting tired of the haircut. Yes, so for cloning, it's not quite that simple. I mean, it pretty much is. You don't want to hit them at the same time. If you hit them at the same time, it doesn't register the input. So if you notice when I picked up spirits by themselves, I pressed the A and the C button almost, like the C button almost immediately after the A button. I did not, Hobo. I'll have to look into it. Was I mashing? Oh, so when you mash for cloning, you want to hit the A button and then whatever C button almost immediately after, because you're going to be able to mash better that way. So I do it in a way where I'm just alternating, so I'm hitting it like this. The A button slightly before. I don't know. Like that. So, just to give a explanation, the old out of bounds we used to do with compression, where we'd go to 19 fire. We would actually do that here. We would clone into fire here, ready to just about 19 before going into call hazard. We would use compression. It would shrink the size of an enemy. You stand between the enemy and the wall, certain enemies and most walls, and once they go back to normal size, they push you out of bounds. Pretty straightforward. Compression, unfortunately, didn't have the greatest hit rate, so it's kind of a pain. So the call hazard one was pretty easy because the enemy was a wyvern who was gigantic, so not super hard. The blue cave one was a pain in the ass because you had a scorpion with a really small hitbox, and you had to be like perpendicular to the wall and him. You had to be exactly in a spot to be pushed out of bounds. And the third one was oil hole with the rockfish. And that one was a little finicky, but not that bad. So what we do now is actually called the Battle Arena Clip. We create an artificial corner that's a really, really tight corner. The game freaks out because 3D, and you get pushed out of bounds. This was actually kind of, I think Squid definitely found it, for sure. But he found one in Barragoon Tunnel. There's actually a corner that exists that you can walk into and it'll push you out of bounds. On the Barragoon Tunnel, we'll do that out of bounds. Oil Hole, Call Hazard, and Blue Cave will be doing the new Battle Arena Clip. And I'll show the spots. So if we get the agility glitches that hopefully we'll get for when we go out of bounds and call hazard, it'll be a little different. If we don't get that, it'll be... I'm gonna have to make a save. Let me put it that way. I'm sure there is. It's the issue with in some of these places. If you're out of bounds, you can't go inbounds unless there's a cave entrance. The entrance to Glencoe Forest doesn't count. The entrance to this boat doesn't work. So going out of bounds here would actually be worthless, unfortunately. So if you do go out of bounds, there's got to be a way to come back inbounds. Fun fact: at East Limeland, there is such a spot. There is this little canyon that walks down, and then there's this tiny corner at the bottom that you basically do a reverse battle arena clip. You're essentially doing a battle arena. You make a corner, and it pushes you back inbounds. So normally you would make a quick save here. I will be saving later on so that I can do the blue cave one and make sure I do it right. However, you would not save after this at all. This is the only time you save in the game. And it's make sure you don't have memory card in, saves for the time. You have to hit A and then you hit up and then A. Mash A a couple. There's not really a spot, but there's enemies that we could go out of bounds on. There's wyverns, which are usually quite easy if you have suppression. So if anyone ever were to get a run with the 80 clone, we could do that. You can actually go out of bounds in this corner if you have a big enough battle arena and actually walk up to Limeland and go into Limeland, or down to Call Hazard. So I could do this with the boots I have right now. Fun fact, if I were to kill one of these Marrows, they could drop a replica, and we could do the death dude. Could. Keyword there. Yeah, I've looked at it, there's nothing that's sufficient, unfortunately. I think if we were to get like the good death dupe and be able to put stuff into fire, even with not a great death, even with what I got, like 26 or 23 or whatever, and you get to 50 earth and just put enough into fire to get to 19 by then, I think we could... I want to look away. You're never sure with these spots. This is the area where it's like sometimes you want to look away, sometimes you don't. I think it would be worth to have 19. These ones you'd have to set up a spot to clone. If you were to cast Exit on top of these, we're not in a dungeon, so it doesn't do anything. If I were to cast Return, it would take me all the way back to Dondron. So I would have to come up here to clone first. You could clone, but it's not necessary. If you felt the need to be more powerful, by all means do it. However, it's not necessary. But we pick up blue wings here. We're going to use them after we beat Zealous instead of walking all the way back here. Faster. Okay. That is ridiculous. So we have Avalanche now, and that's actually, we don't need a Magic Barrier for Zealous, because he has 3 attacks. He has a long range that hits a bunch for a little bit of damage. He has the short range that hits, if we're at 81, just a bit less than half our HP, and then he has the mid-range. It actually hits like a truck, but it's really, really easy to dodge. He shoots a laser out at a set distance in front of him. If you run at him or away from him, you're going to dodge it. Very easy. So you could actually go out of bounds on this spot, probably, but at this point it's not worth. If you could get out of bounds quickly up there, it would potentially be worth coming all the way down here. I think task-wise it'd be worth going out of bounds, grabbing that first spirit right outside when you get the boat, walk to the lower pool, and then make your way down here without picking up that second spirit. We're gonna try to get the agility glitch. Free agility, you know. It's nice. It's based on the coordinates, so actually, something to note with the agility glitch also is... Oops. Okay. It's actually based on your last coordinates from where your encounter was. So if you got an encounter at the very end of an area, leave that area and go to a new area and get an encounter, and you were to get the initiative glitch at the beginning of that area, it actually considers the coordinates that you moved from very far in the coordinate field to the very beginning of that coordinate field. It would be like you had moved through the entire area. You get bonus agility for that as well. There's no encounters in this second one. If you need to run around and heal after the first one. Also, these bats drop fresh breads. Can't really guarantee it, but I'm gonna try to kill one because I want some bread. Also, because training, we want to get to about 81 anyway. I'm just using Magnet Rock because it amuses me. No bread. Game. I'm not gonna move because I actually don't want to get hit by all this right now. It's kind of low. HP, MP. Okay. We should be at 81, which is good. Alright, so the first battle arena clip. I don't think we're in a good spot. We might not be able to do it from... Yeah, a little crease to... Yeah, we can't. So that little crease, this is where we'd want to stand for this. Is that crease there. I want to kill him. Because this guy hits a lot, but not for a lot of damage. So, good way to train is defense up, infusion, and then healing. If you need to do a lot of training. We're gonna have a lot of MP. Normally we're not gonna have this much MP. You'll probably If you're going particularly fast, you'll probably get to 18 just a bit before before Zel's not. We'll be at 19. Alright, so I'm at the best spot. Alright, so about here. It's just because sketchy fight. You can actually push enemies out of the way. So you want to walk into this, and I didn't make this sharp enough. But it's just about here. You want to play with it. See, this one has to be very, very sharp. That's not all. It's depending on your agility. Close range. Oh no, is that? That's good. Yep, there you go. And then you get pushed out of bounds. Very easy. This one, and the compass will be really useful for out of bounds. So this area is just a big U. But right now we're running around the bottom of the U, so we're gonna go east. We don't want to get too close to stuff, or we can get into encounters. Out here, in the space, you actually can't unless you get close to the floor where you would walk. Then you can get into an encounter. We're gonna run around this, give it a little extra space to make sure we don't get into an encounter. Loop north. And you can go north and a little bit east, but for safety's sake, I would suggest just go north. It wouldn't be much of an angle. It would be like that, barely. Alright, so you are going to want to hit this little ledge up here, because it'll pop you up. A lot of the ledges in dungeons will pop you up or down. Not a lot. Some of them will pop you up and down. Not all of them, which is kind of weird, but some of them will. So we want to be at this height. It makes it really easy to see the exit of this area. And you notice you can see the vine off to the left. Completely ignoring it. We don't want to touch any inbounds areas that will actually drop us down, because it's going to make it a pain in the ass to get out of here. We might have to run back up there and just like get that height again, because normally the rounded walls that you tunnel at the end of this, the tunnels usually will give you, hit your height, will move you up or down or whatever. They don't for whatever reason. This stuff down there will drop you down, but you can't get the height back without going back there. Kind of weird. What we're gonna try to do is actually get the agility glitch here. So you noticed I got my agility like prior to the last encounter like way at the bottom of the U, and now we're like way up here. I should get about 10 agility. What we're gonna do, close. Alright, cool, got it. And now I have 23 agility, when I had 12. Free agility. So what I'm doing there, I'm pressing the C button to start, and I'm holding forward just slightly, and then pressing BC, BC. So that I'm moving, and I'm getting the ready up to get the initiative glitch. And I'm not doing it super fast, otherwise you'll be out of it. I'm doing it just fast enough, going, no encounter, do it again, no encounter, do it again, no encounter. Oh, got an encounter, stop. Cast ability. Agility. So like, normally for these ones, I said before, this will drop you up or down. For whatever reason, this one doesn't. Don't know why. Pretty easy though. Just run up here, you see that little, like the dungeon. This actually will pop you up or down, which is cool, but whatever. Gonna hit it, and then bonk there, and we're back in bounds. Easy peasy. I don't have... Oh, I do have bread. I thought I didn't have bread. Okay. Pick up everything, put it in Earth still. Pretty much we're gonna put everything in Earth until Earth is 50. Like, we want Avalanche to hit like a truck. No. So, for safety's sake, pick up every bread that's here. All the stuff in the windmills, just 2 breads and a MP item. If we weren't feeling safe, we would only pick up that MP item because that MP item is super useful. having the extra MP items is just, it's real good to have for later on. You don't want to use MP items before Guilty, pretty much, if you can avoid it, that aren't mint leaves. Like, you can use dewdrops or mint leaves pre-Guilty, but you really, really don't want to use them if you can avoid it. Okay, so if I didn't have a fresh bread, this house right here to the left, if you go in and talk to her, she'll give you a fresh bread if you don't have it. I have some, so you won't get it. We're gonna clone the first. We're actually gonna clone both spirits in here, just because safer, you know. Normally you would clone this one anyway. And there's a second one in here if you were behind or you needed some extra oomph, you can grab that one. Thank you, Warm Ham. Appreciate it. I'm trying to... There's really no good, I mean, there's Jazzy's old routes that need to be updated, and they're a good starting point. But there's been a lot of stuff updated since then, so to have something for that. But now I'm at 81, so pretty much I'm just gonna ignore all encounters if we can. Take damage, it's not a big deal, just make sure you heal up because there are 2 encounters in this area that are super sketch. One is the one we like to call Pops, or as he's actually known in game as Orc. He'll kill you in 2 hits. He does like a body slam and hits like a truck. Grab this chest back here. Grab the spirit in here, we're gonna clone that spirit. Thanks for the follow. Is this a tutorial? To some extent, yes. This is the most recent route that doesn't include the death dupe. So this is one that I would expect everyone to be able to do. I'm gonna clone this one. Assuming you could, you know, clone. I'm going to absolutely annihilate Zeus right now. He's gonna get wrecked. He's probably only gonna need about 4 hits for Mammon. You always want to turn the camera from these encounters in here, because this area is kind of pretty laggy. Oh, the other encounter that's super sketch in here is Lamaya. He does Wind Cutter 3. So Wind Cutter 1 shoots 1, Wind Cutter 2 shoots 3, Wind Cutter 3 shoots like 9. 7 or something. Oh, here's Pops. He's kind of scary. Probably won't hit me, because I'm too far away. He does like a front flip and butt slam. It looks like Mario 64, his jump and Z slam thing. It looks like that, but he moves forward while doing it. So here's Zeus. First thing you want to do, actually run towards him and slide so we can get close enough to hit him. That hit doesn't matter. So we're going to cast the Avalanche. Hopefully we'll hit him with 1 or 2. None happens. He should do his mid-range. There we go. Mid-range. So we want to go stand in that spot. Bad luck. So if we can get him just to do that attack, we're in a good spot. I may be in a bad spot. 147. Alright, so he's gonna need a little more. Fly, fire over wind. Alright, so... so normally you max Earth, and then you max water. But after that, you have the choice between fire and wind. So, the way adjacent elements work, for damage, you get additional damage for your adjacent elements to the one. Man, this is terrible. Bad fight. Sorry. I'm trying to think about the fight and talk. The way adjacent elements work, so Earth, fire, and water are adjacent, and wind is opposite. The fire and water, essentially you get 1/8 of an element for each in the water and each in fire, but you get 1/16 of an element level for each in wind. So obviously you'd rather do water and fire before you do wind, because you get more damage in your earth. Okay, that was great. HP 81 is the safe spot. Because his mid-range can't two-shot you then. I'm just getting terrible luck right now. adventure's not playing nice right now, and that's not much I can do about it, to be honest. Or he is like no help. Please? Yeah. Alright, so I'm pretty sure he has like no HP left. Alright, so normally you wouldn't do that. I'm just doing that because I know how much HP he actually had. I had hit him 4 times with the rocks, and that would have put him at just about 80. So he probably had a little more than 80. Probably like. And we're gonna clone this one as well, but I have only 3 spaces in Earth, so if in the off chance that I get a 6, I'm gonna clone it to water again. Anyway, I got a 4, so I would have wasted some. So we used one of my fresh bread. I have another one. This is where we just use a blue wing. So normally you would just go straight into Blue Cave, and then we death warp back to the previous save after beating Nepti. However, because I'm probably going to screw this up, I'm going to make a save so that we can see the Blue Cave out of bounds correctly. Also, the chance I do it completely right. So normally you would do this. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you can do this. It's 3 minutes. I think it's about 2 minutes time loss after. After Nepti, if you don't do the death warp. Alright, so normally in the game you're told to go talk to the lady under here and she'll lower the water. Fun fact, the trigger for this is actually just opening the door. You just leave, and the water is dropped. Don't have to talk to her at all. Also, there's 3 spirits out here, so even though we didn't clone to Earth, we're still going to be at 50. I'm actually going to save before Nepti as well, because I don't want to use items. What is the hardest thing to learn for beginners? Probably remembering everything, to be honest. Unless you have a good memory. Then really maybe mashing in the positions for out of bounds, honestly, because the vast majority of this game is just knowing what to do in what situation. It's really most of it. And then just doing it quickly. Alright, so this is the out of bounds. We want to get into an encounter immediately. It would be preferable. We want to be right about here. We have good agility. We can actually walk out of bounds with the agility I have right now, but I want to show you what it looks like with boots, because that's more than likely what you'll end up doing. Alright, so he's going to hit hard. Whoops. Oh, that's right. We have items that we can use. So normally, the new thing you actually wouldn't need to do. You wouldn't have these items. A good camera angle. Actually, I have to look at my computer screen for this. I think because I have more agility. So these little black splotches are what I'm using to base my spots off of. Boss hard to learn? None of the bosses are hard. Because they're... Zel's is probably the hardest just because of the positioning, right? So, notice, spot, walk into it, walk just along, yeah, so this is one, there's different setups for this, and you have to play it and get used to it. But this is one where you actually get pushed into a corner where you can actually get stuck a little bit, and this one you want to walk directly in line with the blue line, and if you walk just enough, it'll push you out of bounds. So we're out of bounds right now. Easy. Now we escape. So that was a really, really good out of bounds. 2 turns. Fantastic. So the first 2 here, those little corners, you'd actually get stuck on if you try to walk at them. So you walk actually directly at the wall, and it puts you across, which is kind of bizarre. And this last one, you actually walk at it, like along it. So the first 2, directly at the wall. The last one, you walk towards you where you want to go. And you have to walk, you can't run. Otherwise you'll get stuck. So you have to, so all the out of bounds requires you to walk. If you're not walking, it goes, oh yeah, no, you're not going anywhere. But if you walk, you actually get pushed into the corner, and that's when the game pushes you somewhere else. Yeah, no, all the bosses are pretty much... The bosses aren't anything other than hoping that the game plays nice, to be honest. Because after Zel, it's avalanche, magic barrier, avalanche, magic barrier, avalanche, barrier. Beyond that, it's knowing when you can use items and when you shouldn't use items. So early on when you do this, you're probably going to end up overusing items. That's pretty bad. I want to pop up here. I don't want to get into encounter because I'm going to go for another agility glitch at the end of this area that'll give me 11. So more agility, hooray! More agility is good because that means we don't die. We dodge, we can move further, our spells are more likely to hit, you know, it's beneficial all across the board. I see that one spirit off there, so we're getting close to where we don't want to drop down or get into encounters here. Actually, we probably would normally want to get into an encounter. I might do that to get over here after I get into the agility glitch counter. Where's that spirit? There it is. I'm gonna run straight at the spirit. For whatever reason, have no issue finding the spirit. Getting to it, I use this spirit as my sense of spot. Normally, you can drop down there. I use the spirit because this is, if you know where the spirit is, it's the first spirit you would get. Yep, right there on the left. Then if you go out past that and just go north, it takes you right to the end. So I can go out to the left a little bit past this, and then north, and I can run straight to the end. So what you didn't see before I turned, there's that little down. That's actually the entrance into this maze part. You can actually drop down there and it'll make it a lot easier to go through this and walk around it. So this area, all the stuff out here, if you get too close, you get into encounters. Obviously, you don't want that. That's the whole point of going out of bounds. You don't get into encounters. I'm doing it this way so that I can get the agility glitch. I don't want to get into any encounters. It might not matter as much for other people. When you're first doing it, it's not as big a deal. You want to make sure you do the out of bounds first. There are maps. I think Hobo posted them on speedrun.com, the resources, I think. If not, I'll have to do it at some point to remember. The areas are pretty straightforward. So, okay. I was just missing it, but I went a little further. Right? So, I won't take it to, there we go. Yeah, I would have seen that anyway. Here. Alright, cool. So that's the agility glitch. Actually going to train right now. So for Nepti, you want to get to 97. So actually, it'd probably almost be better to just leave and come back in, because this is goofy as all get out. 34 agility, I went up by. I'm still too close. That was my fault. So, and then because it's a cave, you just have to walk to there, and you're back in bounds. Easy peasy. However, because this is going to be more realistic, normally I would just not train anymore, but realistically you want to get to about 97 for her, because that's where you can survive 2 of her hits. What we're going to do is we're going to stand in the middle of these guys and get hit by everything. I want to kill 2 of them. Maybe. So this is just, you know, best way to train confusion and healing. If you get, like, they miss a bunch, you can even toss up spirit armor so you take less damage. The amount of damage you take doesn't matter, it's how many hits you take. Get to 97. I think that's... It's been so long since I've actually trained completely for Nepty. 97 sounds right. That lets you survive 2 of her close range hits, which is important. Classic. So normally for training this, you would actually probably it'd almost be better to, when you're first get to that corner where you drop down before the maze part of Blue Cave. There's actually bats there, so you probably want to get one of those encounters because they're faster and easier. You can stand right in front of them and get hit by all their stuff immediately. Just a faster encounter in general. I would suggest for your first couple runs, saving everywhere. It's not a big deal. You want to complete a run first before you get like, you know, God run type stuff. You're not looking for perfect stuff. You're looking for something to compare against first. At least in my opinion, that's the way I would do it. Get a completed run. So we're here. Cape actually working, which is nice. If you ever do save, you actually have to come back here and go into that blue circle, and that's what will actually take you back to Lara Pool. Otherwise, you can't get back. So there's a spirit down here. You can actually pick it up from over here. Cool. If you do come back in here, it's worth like waiting and cloning. Okay, so I'm gonna create a save here because if I die to Nepty, I don't want to lose my items, and there's always a possibility of dying. And if you use items, they're gone. Like, I pretty much don't want to use anything more than like a mint leaf. Or even then, I'd rather not use a mint leaf. Oh yeah, let's see how much I'm behind some of this. So there's a bunch of spirits here. Pick them up. You could potentially death dupe that one if you have a replica, which I'm considering trying to go for. And you can also pick it up from the other side of the wall. Maybe it's this part of the wall. I thought you could. I remember doing that. Either way, it doesn't matter too much. Pick it up for now if you're not doing any kind of death dupe or anything. Oh, I'm faster than them. That's unusual. Getting faster than enemies. Pretty much you just don't want to get into encounters. Escape from everything. Fish sticks are the scariest. They hit like trucks. Yeah, those guys. Always want to run perpendicular to them because their attack goes straight ahead. Merman is another wind cutter too. You can take all of it, it's not a big deal. Taking hits isn't a huge deal because it gives you more HP, more defense. More is better to be safe. You know, not a huge deal. Alright, so Nepty is a tiny frickin' hitbox. He is all. So Nepty is the first in the encounters. You want to be aggressive. You don't want to overuse your MP items. I'm kind of hinting at this. You'll want to use Confusion at least once, if you have to. Realistically, you shouldn't have to use Confusion. Magic Barrier should work. Going forward, she does this attack. You kind of have to. I think it's just past that range. And then Avalanche. So I hit her with 2. Great. And then you just alternate. Avalanche, Magic Barrier, Avalanche, Magic Barrier, Avalanche. Easy peasy. so that was 607. He's basically dead. So I'm going to just show you what confusion you would do. So like, let's say I've used an MP item already. I would do confusion here. Cool. Gonna slap her, might kill her. Okay. Use confusion again, just make sure that's still up. She does that. She can't kill me now. Cool. With 97, she can't kill you with her close range in 2 hits. So you can do confusion twice if you have to. And then it's the same thing. You only heal if you absolutely have to. She should be dead. She's dead. Because I'm really, really strong. Easy peasy, very straightforward. And if you have an extra, so let's say you have 6 MP, you just use an avalanche and put you at 6 MP. You use a magic barrier and you have 3 MP. There's 2 choices. You either use an MP item if you have spare at that spot. You have to waste that, or you're probably gonna die. Or you confusion, and if you have the HP for it, you can take a hit and then magic. You have to magic barrier. You can't heal. You have to magic barrier. And you have to hope that it lands. 90% of the time it will land. So it's better to do that than, you know, go for it. So, and normally, if you're doing the save thing, you would death warp here. Because I didn't do that, we're not going to do that. Get spirit. I'm just imagining things. I thought I saw game being weird. So Earth is already max, 50 is max, so now I'm putting in water. Pretty much for water, it's just because healing is nice when you can heal for a lot. Notice how that's 31? Yeah. I was healing for like 16 earlier. Or it's better. And so if you do save here, you have to actually go in here. Let's grab the spirit. And then go out here, and you walk out here to this person, to Epona. It's an okay run. I mean, in terms of RNG, it's not that bad, but in terms of time I've spent doing stuff. So now I have extra stuff, because I didn't use mint leaves and stuff. So if I had used my mint leaves, I could actually go back in there to her. If you use the mint leaves on cells, which isn't a big deal, you can get more in that plate, in that, the lady in front of the main desk actually give you mint leaves if you don't have any. So it's okay to use mint leaves on Zels. Being greedy. Normally you always want to run backwards to it, but I'm not too worried about their damage right now. These guys are basically weak now. I'm always going to, for enemies that use fireball attacks, especially if they shoot more than one, I'm always going to run perpendicular to them, because sometimes the attack will miss. Fireball enemies are the ones that hit the hardest for whatever reason. So if we had Death Warp, you would end up here. You would talk to her immediately, heal up, and then go down to the boat. The boat has 3 spots. Now it's going to take us to East Limeland. If we were to go in it again, it would take us to Donder and Pats, I believe. So that's what the area's called. I don't remember the beginning area's names too much. So all the enemies here are really slow. Cool. Well, welcome to the stream. Glad you're enjoying it. All the enemies here are slow. Fishmen, or like fish sticks, they hit really hard. They do the same attack, but they're just super duper slow. Thankfully, far enough away they didn't attack. Oh, to note, normally in the route, you actually skip Fargo and Shilf. The out of bounds actually allows us to not fight them at all. Not to use confusion. Oops. So you'd actually end up being a bit weaker HP wise. I'm not sure if I want to kill him or not yet. Extra HP would just be useful to have for guilty. More for my curiosity than I want to see if there's a spot we can go out here, because I always thought the spot was close. I don't think that's good enough. I don't think that edge is here. Whatever. That edge might be, but it's still not. You need a pretty sharp corner, which is the issue, and there's not a lot of sharp corners in the game, or sharp corners that we can use. There are some, but like they're on the left side over here. We don't want to use that because it's you have to go out of your way to get to the right side. Yeah. Like you could probably do it on this spot. You would have to walk around and 50-50 whether it'd be worth. I don't think it would, to be honest. So if we had compression, we would like actually do fight that big wyvern dude up against the wall. That out of bounds would be nice. Because actually the entrance to the Bergen Tunnel is a door. We can't actually enter that from out of bounds. However, I discovered there's a spot where you can walk back inbounds, and I'll point it out when we go by it. You can actually go out on scarecrows too, but they hit really hard, so wyvern are really easy to dodge. They're also gigantic, so they're super, and they move pretty quickly, so they're super easy to get into position. Fun fact, if we're doing all spirits, I've considered if you get into a wyvern encounter here, just using compression and being pushed over to that spirit. It might be mildly faster if you could do it quickly. I'll have to run around here. We're gonna ignore that spirit though, because it's a bit out of the way. I think we're gonna skip Shelf and Fargo. Just, you know, what you should be doing. You can fight them for sure, though. You definitely don't use any items on either of them. Any MP items. Healing items, not that bad. Especially Fargo, you should have no issue with. Because when you fight him from out of bounds, he can't hit you. Okay, so this is a spot, actually, if you're out of bounds, you walk around this wall down here on the bottom. Right here to my right, where I'm standing, if you walk here, it actually pushes you back in bounds. Pop out, like right here. So you don't have to worry about trying to hit a door from out of bounds, you'd get pushed back in bounds. Real 100% would be 50-50-50-50, max stats, all chests, you know, actually kill all bosses, but the 100% we have is actually just all overland spirits. Nick, since there's only 98 in the game. our version of 100% because training your HP, your MP, your defense, and your agility to 100% is miserable. And picking up all chests is not that bad, but it'd be annoying because you'd have a lot of superfluous items that you just wouldn't use. Have several amulets, silver amulets that give you 1.5 times defense, and golden amulets, I think it's 1.7 or 2 times, something like that. Oh, faster than termites, that's cool. Normally you don't want to, but I'd be okay with, I'd like to see it. You don't want to fight single will-o-wisp there. Yeah, this fight. This is the sketch fight. Oh, consumable item. Oh god, kill me. These guys hit really, really hard. Thankfully, I also heal for a lot. We always want to get out of these encounters if we can. Enemies can drop items, but only in the US version they can only drop items if you have none of that item, and then it's only like a 20. In the JP version, you can have up to 2 of the item, and they'll still drop the item, so like a 25% chance. So, if people are learning the game, I would highly suggest learning JP. It's significantly easier. However, the route for cloning is different. What is the Pokemon reference? Enemies dropping items? Actually, not for me. Alright, so this is the out of bounds for, where are we? Very good tunnel. Once we get out of this corner, I'm gonna be off to the left. This is my favorite out of bounds because it's just funny that something like this is in the game. Walk into a corner like a dejected child. The game throws you out of bounds. This amuses me. Alright, so this out of bounds is actually pretty straightforward. We want to walk around the area, make sure we don't get into encounters. I think your screen's a bit dark, so unfortunately you have to play with this brighter screen. Actually, let me brighten that. I don't know how to do that. This is Amarek. I don't think I can right now without breaking it. I'm gonna go southeast now until I see the spirit. There it is. And I want to run pretty much right at the spirit. I don't have it like slightly to the right of ahead. You can see it just barely blinking. I'm gonna run to that spirit. Area pop up. A bit darker for you, so it's a bit harder to see. But more importantly is the compass for this. Following the compass will make this much easier. There's these little corners that you'll see, and I'm going to go to past this first one. The second one. As we pass it, I'm going to go exactly east until I hit a wall. Now I'm going east. You'll notice I hit the wall when Brian comes close to the screen. There we go, close to the screen. Now we're gonna run north, but slightly east. Now you notice my dust trail. If I run into the wall, it doesn't move, but if I'm running north, you can see where I'm moving. What we want to happen is that. I want to be able to move east. So you go north and east until it lets you go completely east. Turn the camera until you're going exactly east. Because if we go exactly east, we will drop down in about 2 seconds. 3 seconds. And that's perfect. And then we want to go northeast until the camera flattens out. And we see this little maze area over here. It's not much of a maze, but a maze area. And then you want to run. I go very northeast because I know how long I need to walk, but you probably want to go more east than north so that you run into the end of the area. You notice that this area goes east and then north and east and north, and you'll just run by each of the edges. And this will make it easier to keep reference where you are. a little more east so that you actually make sure that you stay along the wall. I can see it, but you can't see it right now. I'll get close enough. There you go. You see that. If you don't want to get too close, you can get into an encounter. So, for sake of there, you can see that. To run along this. And we're going to do the agility glitch again, because this is another spot that's really nice for it. This will net us like 9 agility or something. What are we? We're at 45. We're going to do like... It's stupid, but it's really sweet. Only 42. Huh. Must not have... I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Either way, that was more or less right. So, hey look, there's a... Sylph. If you fight her from out of here, she'll always use her long range attack and you'll probably die. Really strong. Otherwise, we just run east, skip her entirely, and see the spirit down there. You can't pick it up without coming back inbounds. We actually just run to the end of the area, and normally we skip Sylph. We don't fight her. If you need the extra HP, you can fight her, but normally I split here. So if you are going to fight her, I would suggest making a save in the tent, and then going back and fight her, because saves at this point don't matter anymore. Just make a... I would make a full save if you're feeling, you know, you need the safety, but you really need it. You want to make sure you don't reuse items. Also, wait a little while for his attack because it lingers. It hitbox lingers for like a couple of seconds longer than it could. Like it disappears and it's actually the hitbox is still there. It's super bizarre. Do it now. Oh no, I missed anyway. Alright. Yeah, but the hitbox lingers for a really, really long time. It's super goofy. The vast majority of this game, if you know the directions you need to go based on your yeah, that he missed. Based on the cardinal directions, that's gonna help a lot. And keeping track of where you were. If I'm lost, I always like to, when I get into an encounter, just press and hold B until it's behind me, and remember that's the direction I need to be running. Blue Man Group, terrible. Mixtape sucks. But they do drop in leaves. Not important, just to note. Don't want to get hit by them, they hit kind of. Pick up this replica. We want to hold on to this for Mammon's World because there's a couple enemies that are super freaking sketchy. In particular, the My Little Pony and Snake Dude, whose name completely escaped right now. Pinhead. Pinhead shoots 3 fireballs. If we kill the rest of the bosses, if we kill a Guilty Bogus, he'd probably leave us an area of 10 HP right now. Next good rolls or whatever, so he hits really hard and pretty sketchy. My Little Pony would leave us with probably like 3 HP. They still hit really hard, they can 2-shot us, but they're not as scary. Either way, you can die in 2 turns with either enemy. And we always, if you can't get out the first turn, use a replica. And if you don't have replicas, then you use a healing item. If you don't have healing items, then you're praying to RNGesus and hoping that Magic Barrier lands. There's a 90% chance, but it's still, you know, you can still die. If he moves, they always use the defense up. If they don't move, they're going to use the triangle rock where it shoots 1 out, straight ahead, 1 diagonally right, 1 diagonally left. For those guys, you can always move just a bit to the right or left when they attack. So now I have 50 earth, 50 water, putting here. Okay. Last out of bounds. Gold out of bounds, you'd use those fish. You would do compression, and then would push you out of bounds on these walls. This would be a pretty good encounter, quick encounter too. And we would kill 2 of the guys, leave one of them. Yes. I got a haircut. I couldn't stand how long my hair was. I actually ended up doing it myself because the place I went to was like, oh, we have an hour and a half wait. And I was like, no. Alright, so we want to get into an encounter right about here. Perfect. So, we want to, you see these little black splotches, that second one is where we want to be. So this can be a little weird because I have higher agility than I think I've ever had doing this. I'm pretty much just have to guesstimate it, and that might have been good. Needs to be a little bit further, so I was on that. Take another step. Nope, a little bit more. Pretty much just use Magic Barrier. Make the corner tight enough, and you get pushed out of bounds. Really, really easy. So it's this black line over there. That black spot. So there's these first 2 right here. One right on the corner, second one, third one. So if you don't have this much agility, it's gonna be in this area. You just kind of have to guesstimate it from there. So I would actually suggest just making like a save state with agility. Here. This, actually, straight south, or out. South is actually, because this kind of rolls around a little bit. Then we're going to go east. So the way this map is laid out, there's this little curl here, and then it goes that way. Way off to the east, so pretty much just gonna run straight east to the end. If you manage to get the agility glitch in this area, you're a freaking god. Because it's about a minute walk, but you can't see because of how far down the area is from where you started. You can't really see it, so it's hard to guess. Other than saying like, it's about a minute, so we're gonna try it. This is an explanation run, drifting. This is not a serious attempt. We're gonna run east now. I'm gonna be a little safe. North. End up fighting Fargo. Or just run exactly east for about a minute. Drifting, this is a not serious run, that's why. This is an explanation run. So we're gonna try it in 134. Go for try to get the agility glitch. I've never gotten it here, but hopefully. I'll highlight this. This will be it's a pretty basic tutorial, not very good. This splits from more for a sake of seeing a time. Nothing beyond that, I'm not really there. It's the downside to the out of bounds, they're quite boring. You're literally running in space. But if you know where to run, not a big deal. A minute. I don't know. Minute 10. I wasn't sure. I wasn't really worried about it. Yeah, so we want to hit this wall and drop down, and then run straight away from it. I was actually about a second off from where I was going to start actually hitting the C button to try to get into an encounter, but big deal. Okay, so we're out of bounds. I'm right by Fargo. This actually might be a gold split, close to it. So we can pick up the spirit right here. If you go to the left here, you can actually fight him. Not going to do that. We're going to just exit the area. You go exactly east from that spot, and it'll pop up and should take you out. This is borderline a gold split. That's not bad. That was pretty good, actually. Hit the wall. Go right a little bit. Could pop up, but I didn't. Not a big deal. Let's split. lot of encounters. Alright, so we run over here and get some items. Some spirits and some items. Yes, indeed. Alright, so for these spirits, it's always going to be the one by the door and the one closest to the other room. And I'm actually going to pick up an extra item. If you feel the need, you can pick it up. It's an extra safety item, pretty much. But realistically, these four. Agility increases accuracy. But this one I'm going to pick up because it is a bell. It's an extra... Practically gold split extra run, true. The ceiling's bell, you saw me use it earlier, it freezes enemies. I will use that as a last after the replicas if I have to. Preferably I'd like to not have to use the replicas at all. But it's much, much better to hold onto those replicas until you really, really need them. Or if you need them. In Mammon's World, you'll probably get into 1 or 2 encounters. If you don't, you're a lucky bastard. Super Mario 64. Because I'm bad at execution type stuff. Not hard per se. Alright, so this is the first time you see the return. So I went in the town and came back out. And that sets my hometown as to this area. So I can cast return, it'll take me into the town, and clone this way. Super Mario 64 is hard because I'm bad at aiming. You're good at it, you're good at it. I, however, am not. There's a reason I play Quest 64. So that's 4. I am going to create a save for this just because if I die to guilty. If I die to guilty, I'm gonna get a Game Shark out and just HP and like make sure we finish the run. Oh, to note, actually, I forgot to say something. I always forget about this. Leave real quick and show you something. When I walked along that right wall, over here, that's because if you run along this wall, you can't get into encounters. Well, I ran along this wall over here because no encounters. If I were to, so like just over here, once you get over that little lava crap right here, you just run along this wall. Because this is an encounter area, but along the wall is not an encounter area. You'll never get into encounter if you're on the wall. I forgot to mention that. There's only a few spots in the game where that happens, and they're almost all at the end of the game. Actually, no, they're all at the end of the game. That's the first one. The next one's coming up. So we run pretty much straight to the wall here, because there's a lot of enemies here that are annoying and or sketchy, so run along the wall. It's harder to see for you, because my capture is dark, but there is a edge that I'm running along. Bridge earlier. What bridge earlier? What bridge are you talking about drifting? I actually don't know what you're... Yeah, so the game is not a finished game. The last areas, as you can see by the way they're designed, are very... I'm actually just going to use a bell here. Oh, okay, yeah, no, the bridge on Brannick. Right, so that third spirit that I cloned, if you run along the left side, that's another thing. I forgot about that as well. That's another one, if you run along that left side, you don't get into an encounter, but if you were to run in the middle of it, you would get into encounters with these guys, actually. They hit really hard. And I forgot about that, thank you, Drifting. There's nothing really to note here at this point, other than I'm low on MP. I want to be at like I want to be at 21 MP. 24 would be much preferable, but 21 is fine. Always want to be powers of 3 because the spells you use, Avalanche and Magic Barrier, and Confusion for that matter, are all 3 MP spells. Just use Rock Jar. Make sure I do have 21. Generally for a lot of enemies, there's like a couple ways to train your MP. It's Rock Shower, which hits all enemies, or can hit all enemies that are in the encounter, or Wind Spells that shoot a lot. Okay, come on. Oh, another thing that will help you save time, and this is just from playing the game more, is being able to input spells quickly. I have specific inputs for the spells memorized, so I kind of just roll my thumb along the controller and cast spells. That's why sometimes you'll occasionally see me casting Confusion instead of Escape, because I do down C, left C, right C, but the way I roll my thumb, sometimes I clip up C. Down C, left C, up C is the input for Drain Magic Fusion. I'll sometimes accidentally cast that instead of Escape. Doesn't happen too often. I wasn't sure about that. There's a distinct possibility that I die too. Guilty, but we'll see. If I do die too guilty, I am going to use a Game Shark, and I am just going to... Except for the first floor that you enter, which is down the stairs. Everything else is upstairs. This is guilty. He has no element, so he takes half damage. He's terrible. He's just an annoying fight. His close range can almost kill you. His long range does just a little under half. 3, 4. Bad. You want to stand just on the edge of his thing. Oh, the edge of his attack, that is. You don't want to use Mint Leaves here, because if you get to 22 MP, and you use Mint Leaves when you have 1 MP left, to put you right at 21. Nice. I always save the Mint Leaves. Everything else doesn't matter, because you get just full MP. I don't remember. 9. The less he moves, the better. these fights are pretty straightforward. 9, okay. I was right. 11, 12. Alright, so this is awesome. Really good fight right now. But I'm gonna show you what. Fusion for him. Okay, good. Fusion gets sketchy because I'm going to heal. Because I just don't like his fight's so sketchy. Fight. How many MP items do I have? 3, 4, 5. I have 5. I'll be picking up another one, right? Right. Just thinking about this. Would rather just not have to think about it. The 2 MP items should be about as much as you use on hand. Alright, cool. That was a good fight. And you always go south here. I've seen better fights, but that wasn't bad. It wasn't too sketchy. I was a little slow because I was explaining some stuff and trying to be, you know, not die. But that wasn't bad. So this is the run Bogus. It was a solid fight. It wasn't end all be all. I've definitely seen better fights, but that wasn't bad. I'm not upset. Like, if I got that in a run, Magic Berry didn't drop. I only had to use 2 MP items. I got to use Confusion. Like, that wasn't bad. I think the best best fight I've had in like a serious run in like 2 full MP bars, I want to say, which was a ridiculous fight. That was probably all spirits and JP for that matter. JP, I think I've done like 1. So there's 2 items here. I think this one on the right is an HP item, which you don't necessarily need. Yeah, the one on the left is an MP item, which I think is worth picking up no matter what. Just because MP items are such a scarcity. Hero's Drink is the 40 MP item. Pretty straightforward, keep running up the stairs. A whole lot of nothing special, pretty much. The end of the game is pretty much just a linear walk to the end, even more so than it already was. Mammon's really easy. Magic Barrier, Avalanche, use MP items. He should die, he's gigantic. I was trying to get to 22 MP, but the game's having none of it apparently. This is the last. There's an item room. There's a MP item here. It leaves again. You want to pick up the 2 furthest out boxes. This one, not this one. The one in the middle. The spirit. 2 of them are HP items. I think this one. Maybe? MP item. And I'm gonna create a save here. You can create a quick save here if you want. You don't need to. It might be worth because Bogus is kind of a dick. Go both ways. bogus. So the reason we pick up the boots is for the bogus fight. So there's 2 boots that we pick up in the run. The first one, used to use on Solvering, might still be worth doing on Solvering if you can't do the leave out of bounds. The second ones we use for bogus. It's fantastic. But I probably could go out of bounds here. I really don't want to, because that would soft lock the game. Kind of. Alright, so the whole story is we need to go, you know, save her dad because he went to get the L-Tail book back. Well, here's her dad. Just there, all by himself. Well, not all by himself. Just a puppet. But in fact, she's a puppet. She works for Mammon. She guided you here. Your dad's here. His name isn't even Bartholomew. If you talk to him, his name is Bart. It's funny to me because they call him Bartholomew. And you just leave him there. Bye, Dad. Bye, Dad. As Drifting put it, if people have FFZ, I have a couple of emotes, and that is one of them. Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad. It's rare that I don't get a fight in that, or usually get one. This is bogus. The reason we call him bogus, he's annoying. Thankfully, he does have an element, so he takes damage, normal damage from spells. Very good. Long range hits like a truck, short range hits like a smaller truck. Nice thing about having all that agility is we... He's not been playing these for me lately. Good news. Actually, evens out. I would have wasted 3 MP anyway. So this is already turning into a garbage fight. Oh, I do have a 10 MP item. I absolutely need it, I have that. This is atrocious. I have not hit him yet. This is a bad, bad fight. Oh, it is lately. I'm getting him to hit me. I'm gonna walk forward. Oh. I don't know what I was doing. Not paying attention is what I was doing. I have a crap ton of healing items, so it's not a big deal. Annoying. So, 3? I think. Wow, magic barrier, please. I don't know what it is lately. Bad, absolutely garbage left of him right now. This is insane, by the way. Just how terrible this is. Too close to him. pretty squishy, but this is like... Oh, are you kidding me? Alright, well this is dead, by the way. Confusion dropped. And aim. Miss. Fucking kidding me. That would happen. Alright, so I'm just gonna get the Game Shark out. Not exactly relevant anymore, but there we go. It's unimportant, you get the idea in terms of HP, because for Mammon, you don't want to. Yeah, this kind of breaks the game a bit. Oh, why it does that. But you get the idea. The point is, we're not going to die now. That's the whole point of this. It's more about finishing the run than it is about being super legit. Another thing you can risk doing is green magic. I'm not going to need that HP item now. Dead by dead. And health. Does the Game Shark code. We're gonna be a bit cheeky about this. So we're not gonna do... You saw what the fight pretty much looked like before. In terms of, you only really want to use 2 MP items. Only want to use 2 MP items. And then kind of do confusion if it goes beyond that. But this fight shouldn't be that long because he's really quite squishy. You should be doing a bunch of damage at this point. So basically we're cheating, right? That's what Dream Magic is generally going to do, it's going to miss. You can ignore this portion of the fight, we're just kind of trying to speed it up. Cool, he died. Almost like we cheated. No, we didn't. Alright. So, Bogus down. On to the end of the run. We have to talk to Shannon. Gives us the Telltale book. And then she also gives us the key to jail. If we don't talk to her, she won't give us... we won't get those items, so we actually can't continue on. So we have to talk to her real quick. Both times. Also, she teleports us to Mammon's jail after the second time. This time, she gives us the book, lets us enter Mammon's world. Mammon's world is very obviously an incomplete area. It's just a walk to Mammon enemies. So, this is another run along the wall area. This right area here. You want to run along here because you can get into encounters. Fun fact, most of these areas, if you have compression, you can actually go out of bounds in enemies. You'll just, you know, block yourself. Really, honestly, there's nothing special for the rest of the game, pretty much. If you get into an encounter with Pony or pinheads, you want to make sure you get out as soon as you can. Use replicas first, immediately, unless you can step out of the battle first. Like, if you can step out of the battle first turn, step out of the battle and heal up immediately without moving. But if you get into Spriggans, these guys are big and scary, but they are... that's the only magic attack they have, and their melee is like 30 damage. These guys aren't scary in the slightest. They'll either silence you or punch you for like 20 damage. They're very weak, despite their menacing look. The guys, they're called Judgments, like white statues. Either throw like rock level 3 or rock shower, and they both hit for like 40. They're pretty weak. The pinheads and the ponies that are sketchy. You go with the pinhead. Pony's not as bad, but the pinhead's super sketch. Especially if you go low on any kind of HP defense training, which I be borderline for. I actually have like 139 HP. Oh no, 164 now. They can almost kill me. They do about 1 damage. They roll in the 50s for each. They shoot 3 fireballs, and the fireballs roll in the 50s. This is another area where you run along the wall. There's another copy of this room where you run along the wall. It's the exact same room, but it's later on. Dirty pinheads. Pinhead Larrys, that's true. Alright, so here's the pinheads and the judgment. The pinheads, see if he hits me, which damage he does. 50, 50, 52, 50, 56. Or 50, 52, and 46. So he did 140. He almost killed me. 16. So, with the HP I have, they're actually not that sketchy, but the idea is like you kind of have to do the Nepty training to some extent, a little bit. They're a bit sketchy. I think in my record, I actually died to pinheads by something like 3 or 4 HP. I didn't train enough, and it cost me 3 minutes. So the current world record is not very good. Let alone everything after Nepty was basically average or garbage. Like I think Fargo I lost a little bit of time on, but that's because in my previous PB that was a gold split. Guilty I lost a bit of time. Bogus I definitely lost time. In Mammon I think I gained just a little bit of time. Most of my fights were pretty bad. It was really weird. I've just had really, really bad luck lately with in fights. Important. So this is another copy of the room. If you notice, I kind of ran out of time, so the rooms are very boring. But we can actually save here and Kona. There's only like 2 rooms left. You actually want to go up, like you're going towards the monastery. This is the last room that has encounters, and you're running along the wall. I didn't use my replica last time. Infinite HP, so I don't really care. Yeah, you want to run around this last tree and then you're good, so 2 encounters is very good. So here we have to talk to Shannon. She'll transport us to Mammon. Let's fight. I'm gonna run around the right side here so we can get close to him. He says some stuff about you being stupid, whatever. Alright, so we want him to not do Firewall because that lags everything. The other 2 attacks he does This one's the one we don't want to hit. It hits you hard and also lags. So I'm going to do this once through my MP, like we normally should. And then I'm just going to kill him. This is what it would normally look like. You would Magic Barrier, Avalanche, Magic Barrier, Avalanche. Oh, goodness gracious, this is solid. This is a good fight. Actually, I think I'm going to keep doing this real, because this might be a borderline gold split. Funny. Very straightforward, use the last year MP items. It's like 23. I'm gonna try to kill him. No gold split. If one of those other ones that actually didn't do well had hit more, that actually would have been. This is still a very good fight. And I was being greedy there because he has like 2 more hits. More than 2. Okay. Yeah, we did it. And it's important to run away from her after she finishes talking. Funny. Yeah, that's there you go. It's a quest in a nutshell. Speedrun at least. There's a bit more to it than that, but it's the gist of it. The rest of it you'll pick up just playing through it, honestly. And obviously, if anyone has questions they want to learn, there's the Discord. People are more than willing to teach. But yeah, I'll highlight this. Thanks for watching, guys, and good night.